Hi, I'm Mike. You know that protein supplement that bodybuilders take? Whether it's in the form of a shake or raw eggs or whatever it is, it may not be such a bad idea. Supplements are given to us to help make up for something our body is lacking. And today we're going to take a look at the equivalent of a protein shake for cows. And hopefully we don't end up with this. That guy could eat us all for breakfast. But I doubt he can touch his toes. I'll also share with you how the ranch saved thousands by implementing a brand new mineral and nutritional program. It's all coming up today on Our Wyoming Life. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us once again as we explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary. I really wish I could tell you that every day on the ranch is chasing down missing cattle, helping moms give birth, or even fencing or building a new shed or coming up with a solution for a problem that's been plaguing the ranch for years. Actually, that last one does kind of make sense because today we're talking about a problem that has been an issue for animals, not geese, since the beginning of animals. For thousands of years, animals, wild animals, have had to fend for themselves. While everything from buffalo to giraffes, they can eat, what they can find, and they move to areas that offer the best forage and nutrition. There's never a perfect location that does a body good. Harsh weather, rain, the lack of rain, fire, all sorts of things can kind of affect the value of forage differently every year. Luckily, nature had a solution to that problem. Now, have you ever seen an animal licking on the ground or even a rock? It looks weird. And lots of people may just pass it off as a strange quirk or proof that Jack Sparrow might have been one of the weirdest pirates to ever have lived or ever had to deal with. Actually, I think that might be an egg, but really it's still weird that probably lots of women wish they were that egg. So animals aren't licking the ground or rocks or whatever he was licking because it's fun. It's not some weird way to get attention. Okay, in Depp's case it might be. But for most animals, Johnny Depp excluded, it's a way to make up for some mineral that's missing from their diet. A lick, the name for a place where animals go to lick is a lick. Essential minerals from deposits of salt and other minerals, they're found all over the world. Some occur naturally and some, such as the ones that are probably most familiar to most people in livestock, or salt blocks, are placed by farmers for their livestock. Natural licks are very common. In fact, the elements can be really as varied as phosphorus and zinc, calcium, iron, even sodium. All of those things that animals need, especially in the springtime. These elements help animals with bone and muscle growth and the growth of their fetuses, most of which are now entering the last portions of their development. All kinds of animals, from porcupines to moose and elephants, depend on licks for their survival, especially in areas where their natural ecosystem may be lacking in certain vitamins and minerals. So it does make sense as we began to domesticate animals that we found out that these supplements, such as lick, were very, very important. It started when people began using salt licks as hunting tools, more specifically as bait. Deer or elk or whatever lacking in salt in their diet would be naturally drawn to where Native Americans and other indigenous people had placed it, and then they would harvest the animal for their own use. As time went on, we learned that in order to have the healthiest animals in our domesticated herds, we needed to help them out. And all of a sudden, in the late 1800s, grazing ranges were being reduced in size. Private landowners were putting up thousands of miles of barbed wire, and producers, large and small, found their animals' forage being greatly limited. And the first thing ranchers noticed were cattle that were suffering from sodium deficiencies. Sodium chloride, or salt, is one of the most important minerals that a cow needs to keep their body working properly. Most importantly, it helps the body regulate water. Now, we know that animals need salt, but why? Well, it turns out that salt is essential in keeping a cow's nervous system and muscles working efficiently. It regulates the water, but it also regulates growth and weight gain. It helps combat high potassium levels, which is very important. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. How much salt really does a cow need? Well, about 0.005% of their weight in salt each day. A 1,200-pound cow would need about this much, 1 ounce of salt per day in her diet. If she doesn't have that salt, weight loss, muscle weakness, nerve issues, and even delirium can ensue. Trust me, a delirious cow, no fun to deal with. Low salt can also lead to pregnancy loss and grass tetany. Now that's the illness caused by high potassium levels in new spring grasses. You can have your feed tested, but the easiest way to manage a cow's salt intake is to always have some out for them. We call it free choice feeding, and a cow given free choice will only eat the amount of salt that she needs. Salt is vital, and while it was the first mineral that ranchers learned their livestock couldn't live without, it was nowhere near the last. Where there are no natural licks for animals to take advantage of, ranchers and farmers take that role, providing what their cattle need. Our biggest ally in the constantly evolving battle to provide our animals with the minerals and vitamins that they require has been lick tubs. That's what these things are. Some call them protein tubs, and they've been gaining popularity across the U.S. for both large and small producers. Lick tubs are self-feeding. That means that it's that free choice that we were talking about. A cow that doesn't need the supplement contained in these lick tubs may not eat as much as another who's deficient in what is in these lick tubs. Other minerals, such as salt, are still required for your herd, but these protein tubs are starting to take the place of other supplements, such as cake, although I still like caking the cows, and I hope they still like me for it. A lick tub is a mixture of different ingredients to help boost the protein levels of a cow's feed. That protein then enables animals to extract more energy from the forage they eat, whether it's grass in the pasture or rolled and baled hay. Cows that are grazing on lower quality pasture early in spring or in late fall may require extra protein, and nursing cows, man, they need a boost in calcium and fat, both of which is contained in these lick barrels. For us, lick tubs offer a number of advantages for our herd. This year, we're stepping up our mineral and nutritional program for our cows with the help of the Farmers Business Network. You've heard me talk about them before, and they are sponsors of Our Wyoming Life. And while we're actually saving money with FBN doing it, is the amazing part. The main advantage for us is that tubs are formulated for our cows to be consumed at the rate of about 3/4 of a pound per day per cow. The tubs allow animals to eat what their bodies require and sustain a proper balance, taking the pretty much all the guesswork out of it as a producer. Tubs are also easy to store. They have a long shelf life, which then allows us to order larger quantities when the prices are better, and we basically can store them until they're needed. There are multiple formulations available based on what our cows need at certain times of the year. Back here in the back, I've got some barrels that are slated for early spring, and they contain magnesium chloride. We're not going to put them out until the grass starts to turn green, but that helps combat the tetany that we talked about earlier. Spring grasses have a high amount of potassium, which can actually cause abortions in cattle, so that special lick back there will help us battle against that. One of the other things that I'm really liking about these lick barrels from FBN is that they're biodegradable. They're just going to disappear, keeping costs down for us and saving me time and money and having to run out and pick up empty lick barrels and take them back to town or whatever you do with them. Input cost is a huge consideration when it comes to our operation. Margins really are really thin. And in the end, the most important business that I can help, it's my own. This spring, we ordered 60 lick barrels. By buying from FBN, we saved almost 15%. The really nice thing is that FBN has a really great financing option as well. We basically applied for a line of credit with them, and we don't owe them a thing until January of 2022. I don't have to tell you how important it is that every dime that we can save and that we can keep here on the ranch helps us in the long run, and it gives us the insurance that we need to make sure that we can keep this operation moving forward. Now, you can contact FBN by visiting the link down in the description, or you can just search Google for Farmers Business Network Livestock. As you can see, tubs are a beneficial addition to your feeding routine. They're versatile. You can move them around with the cows. They're very manageable, and even for the small operation. So I would hope that you would call or contact FBN Livestock to find out how they can help your operation save money too. In the end, really, I'm just happy to see happy cows and happy producers with healthy stock to help feed millions. Thank you very much for hanging out with me today. I am hoping at some point here in the future that I'll actually get up to North Dakota where these lick tubs are made and bring you along with me, and we can see the whole operation from beginning to end. But until then, we have lots coming from the ranch. Calving is just around the corner, but first we have kind of a false spring coming up. We have temperatures almost, well, I think we have one day that's up in the 60s, and we have a lot of cleaning up to do, and that includes moving a whole lot of poop. It's coming up next time. I'll see you then. Have a great week, and thanks for joining us in Our Wyoming Life.